In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Imagine the huddle of your favorite team before a game. Someone shouts, "Who are we?" And the answer, Florida State, or insert the name of your favorite team. What are we going to do? Win. And then they go out and destroy their opponent. This synodical statement that we will read shortly for the Sunday of Orthodoxy reads very much like this. This is the faith of the apostles. This is the faith of the fathers. This is the faith of the Orthodox. This is a faith that upholds the universe. Now let's go take on the world. Except that we don't take on the world. We snap a few pictures of our cute children holding icons and call it a day, which leaves this statement by and large an empty one. Why is that? And most importantly, how can we change that? At Bible study the other day, we were discussing humility as we read over a passage from the book of 1 Peter. And someone made a comment that there is a lack of humility in the world because so many are living by the motto, you be you. You be you, whatever you want to be, whatever you want to do. I grew up with a lot of you work hard, and you study hard, and you be on time, and you be respectful, and you follow the rules. And while I was encouraged to develop my unique talents and interests, there was no you be you when it came to work ethic, promptness, respect, and following rules. Look around the world today and think about where this you be you attitude is getting us. Society by and large has lost its work ethic, promptness, respect, and order. And what we have now is laziness, sloth, disrespect, and chaos. What we need on this Sunday of Orthodoxy is to change the motto. Instead of you be you, we need to get to you be him, meaning like Christ. In a few minutes, when we make our annual procession of the icons, I'll be carrying the gospel. The gospel is the living icon of Christ. Not only does it depict Christ on the cover, but the words of Christ contained in it are the words that lead to everlasting life and the words that guide us through this life. The gospel tells us things like we are to love our enemies, to forgive as we wish to be forgiven, to turn the other cheek and offer it to our enemy if he strikes us, to give away what we don't need, to use our talents to the glory of God, to be humble, to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, and visit the sick, to get up after we fall down in sin, and so many other things. It teaches us how to be like Christ, to die to ourselves and live for him. The gospel is not an icon that we look at, but an icon that we live, an icon we are continually in the process of becoming. The epistle lesson today was about the people of the Old Testament who had a distinct disadvantage when it came to faith. Christ hadn't come yet. There was no resurrection to believe in, only prophecies that foretold it would happen one day. That day didn't come during the lifetimes of Moses, Gideon, Samson, David, Samuel, and the prophets we heard. We Christians today believe in a day that has come, the day of the resurrection. Those who came before Christ believed in a day that had not yet come. And this faith was enough to, as we read in the words of St. Paul, it was enough to conquer kingdoms, stop the mouths of lions, escape the edge of the sword, and become mighty in war. There was a cost to this faith. Some were tortured, others suffered mocking and scourging, chains and imprisonment. Some were killed, and some were destitute. And these all helped bridge the gap of time between God's covenant with Abraham and when it was fulfilled in the person of Jesus Christ. We now live during a period of time between the resurrection of Christ and his second coming. However, unlike the people of expectation that we read about in the epistle, or the call of the first disciples who came and saw and were changed by what they saw, we live at a time when we are encouraged to you be you, rather than you be him. This is not leading us to Christ. This is not helping others get to him. This is not preparing us for our judgment before him. Actually, it's doing quite the opposite. If we want a faith that will sustain the universe, we have to get back to you be him. You be you is slowly destroying the universe. To practice you be him we need to deny ourselves, take up our cross, and follow. That doesn't mean we can't ever laugh. Jesus laughed. That doesn't mean we can't have friends. Jesus had friends. That doesn't mean we can't travel. Jesus traveled. What it means is that when there's a conflict between our thoughts and his thoughts, we acquiesce to his thoughts. When being you conflicts with being like him, we cast our vote to be like him. Lack of respect, lack of work ethic, lack of honesty, lack of forgiveness, lack of love, these things are killing our universe, not upholding it. If we want to make a contribution towards upholding the world, not only from a Christian perspective, but from even a practical one, we have to focus on being him and not just focusing on ourselves. When I was growing up, Michael Jordan was a universally recognized name. We watched him pull off amazing feats on the basketball court. He came out with a line of shoes that every boy wanted to own. He endorsed many products and was constantly on television, not only playing in the games, but on the commercials that ran during the games. I can still remember a song that played during the commercials. It simply said, "If I could be like Mike." It's a little catchy tune. If I could be like Mike, if I could be like Mike. Michael Jordan was idolized. He gave kids someone to look up to, someone to aspire to be, someone to think of when honing basketball skills. The goal of our lives should be, if I could be like Christ. If I could be like Christ. Imagine if you had that tune playing in your head all day. If I could be like Christ, if I could be like Christ. And to be honest, I struggle with this like everyone else. 1 Corinthians 4:12 and 13 tells us that as Christians, when reviled, we bless. When persecuted, we endure. When slandered, we try to reconcile. UBU says, when reviled, curse. When persecuted, fight back and destroy. When slandered, get even or worse. I struggle with this on a daily basis. Some days I'm able to be him and rise above, and some days, sadly, I'm me and I sink in sin. If the goal of life is you be you, or if I could just be me, then the icon on our wall would be ourselves. We'd be making an idol of ourselves. Even if the icon on the wall is of Michael Jordan, the "if I could be like Mike" icon makes an idol out of him. This is why the icons on our walls are of Christ and the saints, lives worthy of emulation. To emulate Christ or to emulate the saints who found salvation in Christ does not put our hope in ourselves and does not make an idol of anyone. You be him is a worthy goal for us, just like Christ and the saints are worthy icons to have on our walls. Love, peace, patience, sacrifice, loyalty, respect, value, purpose. These are the pillars of the journey to salvation. These are the pillars of the Christian faith. These are the pillars that lead to salvation. At a recent funeral, I had this thought: one day we will all be equally dead. Death is the great equalizer. UBU makes death something to be feared because it marks the end of any sense of love, peace, patience, sacrifice, loyalty, respect, value, purpose, and joy that we've ever had. You be him makes death something to actually look forward to, because for the one whose life's goal is to be transformed into an icon of Christ, these things continue for eternity without the sins and temptations that taint them. We hear a lot of rancor about climate change, and while this pertains to the physical environment around us, it does not address the emotional and spiritual pollution that are getting more and more potent. We need some climate change for sure, but it's more than controlling car emissions. We need to change the climate from you be you to you be him. You be him. This describes the faith of the apostles. You be him. This describes the faith of the fathers. You be him. This describes the faith of the Orthodox. You be him. This is the only way we can sustain